back to Elevating Africans. Today we have someone amazing, someone we have been waiting to share with you guys. He has amazing ideas and amazing stories to tell. His name is Thon Garang, and he will, of course, further elaborate later on about what he does. So Thon Garang is a film director, a social and a youth worker, but most importantly, he is a valued member of the African Australian Society, and he's just someone who's very full of ideas, especially for the youth, and that's why we really wanted to have him here today, so you guys can, of course, hear things from him and get to learn from him. So how are you, Thon?
I'm great, thank you very much, Kedge. I'm really excited to be here this afternoon to share with you my ideas and opinions about life.
That's great. I'm glad you're here. So I'll just apologize because my partner, who's normally with me, is not here. We are in restrictions, so I'll be doing this on my own, and yeah, hopefully you all still enjoy. Who is Thon Garang, and where are you from? What do you do?
Okay, thanks for the beautiful, introduction. My name is, of course, Thon Garang. I'm a member of South Sudanese community in Melbourne, Australia. I've been in the country for the last 14 years. And yeah, I've been involved in many youth activities. I used to do music and then start a family, and then now I'm into film production. So yeah, that is me, and probably most of the people might have seen me with a camera at community activities and stuff like that. So yeah, and I also work in the community services sector as a support worker. I run the social media for one of the organizations in the Southeast. And I'm also a bicultural worker as well, helping with sharing of information regarding the COVID-19. So yeah, that is a bit of me.
Oh, thank you so much for that. That's actually cool. I didn't know you were doing anything with relation to COVID, but that's nice.
You're in West Side, I'm in East Side, so probably I did my introduction, and maybe the people in East Side probably know. But yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So what inspired you to become who you are today, and especially within relation to Dengajuk Pictures, which you haven't mentioned yet? I thought it would be the first thing you mentioned. But so how did that come into discovery?
Yeah, well, I knew we were gonna come to Dengajuk Pictures, and Dengajuk Pictures is a part of the journey of my life. It's something that I picked up along the way, through life journey. So I went to South Sudan in 2013 before the war, and most of the time I used to hang out with my friends at a certain compound near my uncle's place, and that was the place where they have the television. So every evening we'd go there and watch news, and sometimes you see a different person talking and there's a different name tagged to it, or what they're saying is totally different from what the person was supposed to say, things like that, and the picture quality was really bad on the TV. So we always complain most of the time when the news comes, because there has to be an error, misspelling, the picture quality is really bad, things like that. So as someone who have a bit of opportunities in Australia, I kind of questioned myself. I was one day just lying on the bed at my uncle's place. It was really a hot day. It's always hot in Juba, sweaty. I was alone, because I actually like having my alone times most of the times, So I was there, and it crossed my mind that, I was in a better position than most of the people that always complain about the bad quality of television on the TV. So I asked myself, why don't I go back to Australia and study filmmaking so that I can contribute to the better quality that I want to see, from South Sudan TV. So even if I'm not going to work for South Sudan TV, I might get to teach someone that might work for South Sudan TV, and they will provide a better quality. I will also make my own videos and put them to where people can find them. And if they are better quality, definitely South Sudan will be accredited through my work. So I came back with that, that idea in mind. And of course, what I did was to actually find the skills, because in life, if you want to go somewhere, you need to set a goal. And when you set a goal, you need to look for the skills or tools that can help you achieve that goal. So one of the tools was for me to go to school and study how to make films, because I had no clue on how to make those films. So I went to school, studied filmmaking, and now I came back and got my first camera. And I started going to community events. So that is how the Angel Pictures came. I had that idea in mind. And I also had that idea that when I become a filmmaker, I'm going to create a company and I will name it Dengajuk Pictures. Dengajuk is my great-grandfather, is someone that lived many years ago, but the name is still there. He's one of the popular people in Dinka land, and why not name my company with that name, you understand? So that is how Dengajuk Pictures came about, and that is where it is going at the moment.
Can I just say, I actually love how you went back to South Sudan and you saw what was lacking, like you saw the gaps that were missing, and instead of just being frustrated, like you were saying, you've actually gone another step ahead and thought about what can you do to actually ensure that this isn't a problem for longer. And then you came back and of course and went to school. That's a really good one.
Yeah, that's right. And then to add on your point as well, we can sit and complain for all our life and nothing will get done. So the best we can do, instead of complaining, look at how you can pick a problem and try to solve it. This is the only way. Even the country that we are in, to this point where we can communicate on Zoom, there have been millions of people that have put in their times and their lives, their energy to get it to where it is right now. The same thing with South Sudan. South Sudan will not just fall from the sky with all the buildings and the technology. It needs people like me to get all these things done. So I came back, went to school, studied, and now I'm doing these things. So I had the idea. I went for the tools. And now I got the tools. So I need to implement my idea of having a production company that will make movies with better qualities for South Sudan.
Wow, I love that.
That's what I have right now.
I love that. And so basically from my understanding, you don't just want to make news anymore or make sure that we have good news, but you also want to make sure that South Sudan has a production company that is actually of quality.
Yes, that's right. That's where it is heading. Because in life, for you to get somewhere, or I'm not in any way successful, depending on how you interpret what success is. Let me say I don't have a lot of money, but I see myself as successful as I'm sitting here because I have food in my fridge right now. I have a bed, I have a roof on me. I have this computer where I am communicating with you on all these lights. My kids are sleeping well, they're eating well. My mom is sleeping and eating well. My friend can call me right now and say, give me $20, and I might give them that $20. So I'm happy with that, and I can call that a success. Sometimes it is not anything to anyone else, just to some people. It might be nothing at all. Success could mean having a lot of money, a lot of properties to other people, But to get to the point, to be successful, you need to pick what you want in life. What do you want? As soon as you identify that goal, now come to what do you need to do to achieve that goal, Now, when you find these tools, it becomes like a game, you know, like a chess game. You make a move, and life will also make its own move, you know, because you don't control everything, you know. And
Yeah.
you will win here, you will lose there, you will make a wrong move, and you note it down that you made a wrong move, and next time you fix it, you don't make that move again, and just keep going. And while you're doing that, you're doing it with love, you know, with passion. Otherwise, if you don't have a passion, you will get discouraged on the way. There will be people that will discourage you. For my own case, there are people that told me before, this is not going to go anywhere. You know, there's no money there, you know, things like that. It's not important in our community, all these things. But I never listened because I had a picture in mind. And I know how to bring this picture to life, but that person doesn't know, you know? So if I listen to them, then I let myself down, not them. And I might sit down and blame them, but when I should actually blame myself for listening to them and forgetting the picture that I had in my mind, you know?
I love everything you've just said. I honestly do. And I really like how you've also gone into speaking about being successful isn't always about having money. I have this quote on my phone, which is my screensaver, and it literally says, success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. So, and this quote is by Maya Angelou. So, yeah, you know her, yeah?
Yeah. I heard about her. I've read some of her quotes there.
Yeah. So basically, I think everybody has a different definition of success, and quite frankly, other people always look at it as the money you have in a bank or how many homes you own, but it's not always about how much you actually have, but rather being able to be happy with what you have and what you do and how you do it as well. Like, that's my definition of success. So tell me more about,
you know, to also get, you know, when we talk about success as well, to also get, and of course for my case, to get the little pictures to where it is right now, there are things that I had to sacrifice, okay? First of all, I have to free my mind and my heart from bitterness that I have towards things that have happened in my life, whether towards people or through my own mistakes. I had to forgive myself, forgive other people, okay? Try to employ some strategies. If someone gets me angry, how do I get off that state of mind and go to bed without that thing in my mind, you know? So if I need to block that person, if he on social media, block them, block the number. If there is a common place where you guys meet, try to find a way where you can either meet that person, but don't let that problem cross your mind. Or if there's a way you can disassociate yourself from that place, stop going there. You understand? That is one thing. You also need to sacrifice some stuff. You need to either spend your money to achieve your goals, okay? So I had to go to, so the course I did would have taken me 3 years if I did it at RMIT or Deakin Uni, but there was another uni that was giving it for 2 years, but it's more money. So I went to that school. I spent more money and I finished in 2 years, okay? You also need to give your time, okay? You also need to give up some of your habits. I had to cut off most of my friends that I used to hang out with. I also cut down on having negative conversations with people. So instead of us sitting down and we'll be talking about my bald head, you know, we're talking about, I don't know, I'm short, I'm long, you have a beard, I don't have beards, you know. These kind of conversations that are going nowhere, and you find you wasted 8 hours. You better stay in your own place for those 8 hours. You will spend 4 hours doing nothing, but the next 4 hours, you'll have certain idea crossing your mind that can contribute to your goal, you know? So you need to plan your time. You need to cut down, give up some of the things, sacrifice stuff, free yourself from hatred, jealousy. If you see someone doing good things, that is not going to affect anyone in a negative way. If it needs money, support it if you have money. If you don't have money, give a word of advice or opinion, not a negative one, you know? Stop envying other people. Like me, sometimes when I talk about, even now, like when I'm marketing the other pages, some people say, look, don't say everything, because some people can copy what you are saying. But I say, no, if you copy what I am saying, I'll be proud of it if you don't give me credit, because that is a development, you know? If you're going to implement my idea, that is a development by itself. So why would I actually be judged? Yes. If you're going to start the same business as mine, that is also a development, because you will help me marketing film industry in South Sudan.
Amen. I love everything you've just said.
Yeah, so I just share my idea. And then to make it worse, we don't live forever. You know, we could be talking here tomorrow. Tomorrow we might not be here. So if I kept all my ideas to myself and I die with them, what difference have I made? But if I tell you all these things that I've told you now and die, all these ideas will remain here and they will benefit someone else.
Of course.
You know, so I'm not afraid of competition. I don't get jealous of the good things that other people do. And I don't envy my friend for, you know, if their life is better or whatever, you understand? So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I really liked everything you said. And you've mentioned as well, of course, not being jealous of other people, which is a really good one to have, actually, because we're not always going to be at the same level that everyone else is. So it's important to actually know that just because you're not there yet doesn't mean you're not going to get there. So you've mentioned that being around negativity isn't always a company you want to have. And you've also mentioned eliminating it. So why do you think it's important for people to, I guess, ensure that they protect their energy and limit negativity?
Yeah, because myself, I tend to copy things that happen around me, whether consciously or subconsciously. And if you want to do positive things, you need positive energy around you. You need to have conversations that are related to what you want to do or where you want to go in life, you know. So you need to divide your time. If you really want to hang out with friends this weekend, not talking about anything, just, you know, about your goals or whatever that you're doing in life, bring that time out, spend that time completely, give it away. And then when it's done, come back and, you know, focus on the things that you do. So you will need to, if you definitely need to cut down. If, say, for example, with young people, we tend to drink a lot. We tend to have, you know, places where we go and play games and stuff like that. So if you want to be doing that, if you want to keep that company, you need to have that time where you allocate. So if you're going to play with the boys and drink this weekend, you give it that Saturday or that 5 hours or that night, do it, and then come back again and engage in your positive energy. You know, you planned that time to give it away to those guys. But then business-wise or the things that are related to your goals, you need to have a network of people that also have the same passion as you or related to what you are doing, that can give you some advice, that you can also give some advice, that you can also hang out and also talk about these things, you know, that will help you along the way. But if you're just going to be, you know, partying 24/7, drinking 24/7, and say you have a goal, it's not going to work for you. So this is why I talk about the sacrifice before. You need to sacrifice. Yeah, there are some people that will get angry. They'll feel like, oh, you know, you're showing off now. Why are you cutting them off and things like that? But you know you're not cutting them off for a reason to do with anything about them or you, but about your goals, about your life. Because at the end of the day, we have, you know, different comfort zone. You know, there are people that could totally be happy with drinking and partying and just having jokes all throughout their lives. But there are some people that want to set some goals and pursue them. That is, if that is what makes you happy, then go for it. If there's something coming along the line that is distracting you, cut it off. You know, it is not your fault, it is your destiny. And you're doing things that makes you happy, you know? So yeah, that's what I can say. So yeah, negative energy is one serious thing that is there. Listening to people, that have no clue about what you are doing, they'll try to make you feel bad. They'll try to make your goals look useless, and that can actually kill your vibe and your energy.
Thank you so much for that. I loved everything you've just mentioned. Another follow-up question with that is, so let's say if you have, or if this young person has this particular friend that they would like to get rid of, or just don't want the company around that much because it's one, not benefiting them, but they don't know how to do it. What are some tips you would give them to be able to do that?
If you truly have a goal that you want to pursue, but your friend is in the way, okay? If they actually find time to come to you and actually take your time, then you are not committed to your goal. If you have your goal, like say, most of the times on the weekend before COVID, I would be going out to film events. So it's my goal now telling my friends that Thon is busy. It's not even me. You understand? So my friend will call me, can we go out on the weekend? I say, look, I have an event on Saturday. And then again on Sunday, oh, I have an event. You see? And they will actually see me at the event with the camera. So I'm not lying to them. I'm not just pushing them away. So that will deprive them of creating a situation that I'm trying to show off, I'm trying to cut them off, you understand? But they know if I am not busy, I can make time for them.
So how do you then deal with it if they are going to choose to be negative and say, well, he's now showing off, he thinks he's better than me?
That is a red line. Don't be afraid to openly come out and tell them, look, I am busy. If that is going to make you upset, I'm sorry, but this is what makes me happy. If I'm free, I'll make time for you. If you don't want that time, then that is fine. I can also find other network. So it's not really something that you can compromise. If someone has made it clear to you that they are against your goal, they want to take your time by force, then come out and be bold about it. You don't have to hide and try to make it look like you're trying to sneak away. No, be open and tell them, sorry, I am really busy. Yes, I am really busy with this thing. I can't be hanging out all the time, okay? I don't mind what you're doing, but if I have time, I'll come for you. But if there's no time, sorry, I can't.
Thank you so much.
You don't have to beg people for your time, to share your time. No. If there is time available, you'll be there for them. If there's no time, there's no time.
Thank you so much for that. I really loved every bit of advice that you've just given. So what are some things that you wish you knew before now?
No, I'm not regretting. I learned from everything that have happened to me. I've actually lived a good life. I was wild, I was everywhere. People took advantage of me, people betrayed me. A lot of things didn't work, but I'm not regretting anything. I'm not even in that state of mind that I wish I knew. But if I had this state of mind when I came to this country, I would probably be a millionaire by now. That's what I can say.
Love that. All right. Yeah. So of course you've just mentioned a couple of failures. So my next question to you is, I know it's hard for people to talk about failures, but I think failures are a part of life, whether we like it or not. So what are some things that you have failed and had gotten back up from and decided to do better?
Okay. The hardest thing in that actually hits me hard is something to do with the relationship. It really affects most of the things that I've been doing and my time as well. But I also not, like I said before, I'm at a different state of mind where I'm not regretting anything. even in a failed relationship, there is a positive part of it. You know, like I have beautiful children that I am connected with, you know, that I could see becoming better people in the society and be role models, you know, later on. So I don't really see anything as a failure at this point. Every negative thing that happened to me is a lesson, and that is where I put it. So instead of using the word failure, I use a lesson. I learn from it. I learn from everything, including our political situation as a community, politics. I learned from it, you know, I learned from everything that happened around me. And yeah, so if you don't succeed in here, you learn from it and create a positive energy and move to the next. And make sure you don't repeat the same mistake, you know? And yeah, so honestly, I'm not, so like say most of the young people here, the negative things that they do is probably drinking, using drugs, you know, hanging out with bad people, getting in crimes with the police, you know. These things should be learning experiences instead of you looking yourself down, having a low self-esteem. You should look at it as a learning because you know now you had passed through that and you have to set a goal now and move away from there and never come back to that situation, you know. But if you're going to see them as failures, they will keep on haunting you. So the day you will have a bad day, all these negative things will come in your mind, you know, because they are there. You see them as a failure. You see yourself as someone that has failed before and that you can also fail again, you know. But if you take it as a lesson, and then you could probably make some other mistakes along the way and learn from them, that your energy will always be positive and you'll keep on moving like that. And that will take you ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So who have been some people who have been inspirational to you throughout your journey?
My mother, my mom is a very inspirational person. She supported me along the way. I did not mention at the beginning, but when I went to South Sudan in 2013, she asked me, what did I do? What did I study? You know, and by that time, I only had a certificate. And I didn't feel good about that. I felt like I let her down. And then she also talked about other kids that are successful, you know, and I didn't really have much to say about that. And so I kind of used that to elevate myself and to push myself harder. Because what happened prior to that, I was actually dwelling on all my problems. You know, I was, you know, like surrounded by all the problems around me. And I felt like all these things around me are the one holding me back. They are the reason why I am not moving. I'm not doing this because of that. I'm not doing this because of that. But I came to realize, no, that was not true. I was actually the one letting all these situations to hold me down. It was not the problems that were holding me down. So I came straight away, went to school. When I went to school, my mind even opened wider because people, you know, when people talk about going to school, I didn't even know, like me, I used to think of, you know, like, because, you know, most of our, especially in our community, there are people that are graduates and they're not benefiting from their documents. They just have them on the walls. So that kind of gave me a negative perception about education. I was telling people, why would I want to go to school if my certificate is just going to hang on the wall, you know? So I had a negative perception. But sometimes, you know, things happen in a different way. You know, there is a divine part of life. You know, they can, you know, you control some of your life, but in a way, God, depending on what you think God is, has the control of your destiny to a certain level. So even if you kind of go there, there are some instances you'll find yourself getting back on, like it kind of guide you to somewhere until you find this is where you want to go, you know. So when I went to school, I learned a lot from the school, from my lecturers. I never, you know, find people talking to me meaningful. Like, I would get discouraged if you talk to me for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. But when I was in the school, I could sit throughout the lectures for 2, 3, 4 hours, you know, and I enjoyed it. So I kind of learned that. And as you can see right now, I can actually talk to you for 4 hours. You know, and through that, you open your mind about things. Like, you really open your brains, because it's all about mindset. Everything that you do, everything that happens around you is all about mindset. If you have an open mindset, you can do a lot of things. You can achieve a lot of things. And a lot of things will not even defeat you. But if you have a narrow mindset, I'm telling you, even a lot of things, even a small post from someone on Facebook will trigger you just like that, and you'll go off, you know. But if you have a positive, you try to see where is that person coming from and why they're doing what they're doing, you know.
Thank you so much for that. I've loved everything you've just said, especially about how everything is our mindset and perspective, and how we, of course, have control, to some sort of control over what happens in our life. And I'm so glad that you chose not to let everything else that has happened in your past dwell upon you, and instead you've actually used it as a
absolute control. It is actually absolute control, not some sort of control. Absolute control. You got absolute control for everything that happened around you.
Thank you. I love it. So with everything you've just said, so what are everything you've said actually has mostly been advisory, but what advice would you give other Africans or young people who would like to pursue the same career as you?
Okay, well, look, what I can tell people is to stop creating excuses for themselves, to make themselves look bad, to make themselves look like they're not getting what they want to get because of A, B, C, D. Because you can create all the reasons not to achieve anything in life, and that can actually happen. You can also decide to wipe all the negativity off and believe anything can happen and you can make it happen. So if you want to be blaming your mom, be blaming your father, your friends, your girlfriend, your wife, your soul for not achieving your goal, that is your problem. But if you truly have a goal that you want to achieve, not even your mom can stop you from achieving that goal. There are many resources out there, and it is idea that can get you somewhere. So if you even want money to get your idea going, you can use your mind to find money to get that thing done. And money is there.
I've loved how you've spoken so much around goals. So with regards to goals, how do you, so let's say I had a goal right now, what would you advise me to do? Would you recommend that I write it down somewhere or just have that in my head?
Oh, look, you have to write most of the things that you want to do. What I'm wearing right now is a uniform for the Angel Pictures. This company is on my Google Drive. Okay, as a document, I have the logos, I have a Facebook page. It is sleeping with me on the same bed and it wakes up with me. So there's no building for the Angel Pictures. I'm the only person that is wearing a uniform of the Angel Pictures. This thing reminds me all the time, whether I'm wearing it or not, that I have a company called the Angel Pictures. So if you have something in mind that you have not written down, it is not a goal. You have to write it down. You have to build it every day, because every time you wake up, every time you sleep, something come up and relate to it, write it down, add it to it, just keep building it. And when it comes to time of implementation, you will just visit all the notes and everything will fall in place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. I think a lot of this will be really useful to a lot of youth, especially. I know it's useful to me, but yeah. So thank you so much. I think that's a part of why we have this forum here so we can learn from people like yourself. And I really appreciate the fact that you took your time to, of course, come and, you know, to come and just like share your thoughts with other Africans and with elevating Africans as well. So thank you so much. And I've really enjoyed your company.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me as well. I really appreciate it. And it's also an appreciation for you to reach out. And it makes me feel like I'm doing something as well. So appreciation should be something we can always do. So if you're seeing someone doing something positive, please try to appreciate them. If they're doing something negative, please try to reach out as well and advise them. If they don't listen, then it's not your fault. At least you've tried. If they give you that opportunity to talk to them, you know, say like you reach out to me. I had a choice of saying no, I'm not coming, or a choice of saying yes, I'm coming, and which I did, and I'm here right now. We're talking. These things that I've said here today, you record them, and like I said before, if I died the next minute, they will still be there. And if there was something good that I've said, definitely someone else will benefit. You understand? And it is also a networking. So other people will go read this, they'll go watch it. Next time I could come across them and maybe in need of something, and they might go, oh, you know, that interview you did, and yeah, you can get this, you know. So that is how the world goes around. So I'm really honored. I'm humbled. So I really appreciate all this.
If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Go follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and of course TikTok. Follow us on all our socials so you can be up to date with everything with all the content that we share here. And of course, if you know any other amazing African people that you would love to hear from or that you would love to see us interview, please comment them below so that we can actually get in contact and get them to come here so we can hear more things from them. Thank you so much.